All right. So we're on.
We'll come up with a goddamn name, and we'll come up with a...
It's not.
I think
It's not the Four Horsemen. Because
Welcome to the Four Horsemen.
Not the name because
All right,
we're
there.
all married men.
Yeah,
There's
we
only
are.
3 of us. There's a lot of problems with that name, and I feel like that's too generic of a name.
Yeah, that's why I like the
Also-
Killer Threes.
The Killer 3 is a little inside. I don't know why that's a little inside compared to other names of the possibilities. I'm okay with I don't know, a more off the wall kind of a name. More, but like I said,
You want to
like I
go
said,
with Off the Wall? That's the name. Off the Wall.
I think no, that's more of a.
Hi, I'm Grant. By the way, I'm Grant.
Oh, are we doing? Oh, we're go.
Are we doing real names?
Hold on,
Like,
go.
wait.
My name's not Grant.
Yeah.
You're the guy in the center. I feel like you should actually start us
Yeah, you.
All right,
yeah.
so
in
let's-
some way. So,
So this is not Grant, and
Not
that's,
Grant.
and that's not Julian.
all right,
And I'm sure as shit not Greg.
right.
All right. Now that you got that out the way, we're going to sit here and talk about the shit we always talk about, and that's some wrestling.
And I'm gonna get this out of the way too.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that this is gonna turn into. I'm just gonna make Julian try to convince me on why I need to start watching wrestling again.
Oh, we the Threebirds.
I
The
once
Threebirds?
said- I once
We're
said
the Threebirds.
for
Yeah.
6
The
episodes.
The fabulous Threebirds.
Oh, that's not bad.
That's look it up.
Look it up.
The fabulous Threebirds. That actually,
That's not bad.
shit.
Yeah, that's all right.
Fuck, that came out of nowhere, like
All right.
just off the text.
We're gonna.
Nope.
It's gonna be cool. So
That
instead
is
of
what we are right now.
We are
All
the
right, sweet.
fabulous
As of
Threebirds.
right now,
fabulous
we're the
three
fabulous
birds.
Threebirds.
Heck yeah! So Confederate flag shirt on
No,
its way, guys.
no.
Ready? All right.
All right.
Do you want to do an actual introduction?
Yeah, welcome to the fabulous Threebirds.
I'm not Grant.
And I'm not Greg.
And I am not Julian.
Are you sure?
No.
Welcome back. We are the fabulous Threebirds. I'm not Greg.
I'm not Grant.
I'm not Julian.
Yeah. Okay. So, hey, look. All right. So this is what we're gonna do. Hey, Clash at the Castle. So before we get into it, I just like to apologize because I said that I don't give a 2 shits about the goddamn Clash at the Castle.
I actually thought about you halfway through it. I was like, what was he
Yeah,
talking
man.
about?
I told you.
I literally was like, okay, now I get it. That was the first time they've been back in the UK since for like 30 years when we actually talked about the actual SummerSlam was the
That's-
last time they were back in the UK. So
That's called continuity right there, folks. That's
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I just thought it was just another show that they were doing overseas. You know, it just so happens to be in the UK. It was a throwaway pay-per-view. Boy,
Mm-mm.
was I wrong. Good
Yeah.
Lord. Was I wrong? Was I wrong? That has got to be, that has got to be the second best goddamn pay-per-view this year. This whole fucking season.
Yeah, I would say so.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
God damn, that shit was great. Like just
pretty
when we thought we were about to sit here and go, all right, Triple H, you've been at the helm for about 2-3 weeks now, and you started hot, and now it's kind of falling off. No. Jesus Christ. That fucking Clash at the Castle. And I know we gotta do All Out too. So folks,
Yeah.
we're gonna go fast and we're gonna hit some of these points. And Jesus Christ, I just like to say kudos to the WWE and whoever was involved with that goddamn pay-per-view. I need all of you to be involved with every pay-per-view moving forward.
Right.
Whoever
Can we-
those people are.
Can we just start first and foremost with the set? And I loved the LED wall castle hovering above the ring.
Dude, it took me a while. At first, I thought it was one of the Fox graphics, and
Didn't
then
it
all of a
look like
sudden-
that? Oh
Me too.
my
Yeah. Me too. Yeah. Same thing.
God.
And then they
damn.
built a fucking castle on top of the ring. It was pretty sweet.
Yeah, that was really cool, and it did work well with a lot of their walk-in graphics and all that stuff. Anyway, but yeah, they were kind of trying to. There's that OLED display in New York that you'll see little viral ads on every now and again. They did some really neat stuff with that in New York, and I think there's a similar display in Japan where it just looks really 3D and all that. And this was a play on that, I thought, because they did do a House of the Dragon thing where the dragon was coming around and the
Yeah.
building. So that's kind of what they were doing there. So I just thought that was really, really cool. And I like dragons, you know?
Yeah, man. I mean, this whole damn thing, I was just like, Jesus Christ. This seemed more like a real SummerSlam / WrestleMania than fucking SummerSlam and WrestleMania. Like, this was, I am like completely thoroughly impressed with that damn show. Now, it ended horribly for me, and I will get into that. But I mean,
And also, I told you about the crowd, didn't I? Did I not tell you about the crowd?
well,
UK,
see,
man.
yeah, the crowd was hot. The crowd was hot as shit. Like, I mean,
And they were good.
and it
like-
wasn't the hot like, oh, we're just gonna cheer for fucking anything. No, they let you know who they liked and who they didn't like, and they stuck with it.
I'll say this, and I'll get into it a little more when we get to AEW, but that is the kind of smart crowd you want. Like that, that was A+ to the crowd there. I give a C minus. Go think about your life at All Out to the crowd of my own people, supposedly.
Right,
Sort
and that's but then that's the that's the difference when we sit there and we talk about AEW, WWE. That's the difference we're talking about. You could say whatever you want about like who Vince McMahon was pushing at what time and what damn gimmick is what and why are we dealing with this type of shit as a presentation. The WWE is as a presentation, that is the bar. Like, they know how to put on a fucking show.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. And you could tell the difference when you see AEW. Like, yeah, they got all the wrestlers people want, and they got all the indie folks and blah, blah, blah. And we're going to wrestle and we're going to do this and we're going to do the flippy shit and all that. And we got barbed wire. But anyway, I just wanted to say it. But but the presentation, the show is like completely lacking compared to WWE. But again, WWE's got damn near 40 years of this shit.
Yeah,
versus
there was
3.
definitely a side-by-side comparison going on this weekend, and there were production flubs with AEW that took away from it a little bit here and there, including Bryan Danielson having the worst entrance of his entire career, I thought. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, if we want to start with the girls' match. So this
that
is
thing
a
was on
triple threat.
fucking fire, man.
Dude, like, you know me. I don't usually bring up other people's like shows in our show. I refer to them as, like another show would say. But I'm gonna tell you right now, if there's anything for Cornette to watch, that was the girls' match that he needed to watch, because I know how he is about girls' matches, and that's fine. And that's fine. That's him, and he's had a lifetime in the business. And most of his takes when he's talking about it is very much on point. But this one was not a sloppy match whatsoever.
No, the only thing I saw, which it's a stupid criticism, is that you can tell at one point, and this is something that I've heard, I think Jericho talk about, is that it's hard to call a match when people don't speak your language. And I saw Alexa have a little bit of trouble with EO.
Well, yeah.
But there's nothing you can do about that.
Correct. There's nothing you could do about it. And to the point of, I think they actually covered it a little bit better than what I expected. Like, I'm not saying it was the perfect woman's match. I mean, I'd still give that to
but it was
Charlotte, Sasha, and Hell in the Cell almost. But and that's even with the bad table spot. The table just didn't break. But this one, I kid you not, everything that they did, even the stuff that you could say, okay, they went over some shit. Okay, whatever. Everything that they did almost had meaning. Like, they were telling a story. It wasn't like, okay, this is what we do now. Throw me into the ropes. Here comes this spot. No, it was, I kid you not, EO and God damn it, Dakota, they're a good tag team.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they were doing tag team shit. including the quick tags. They were going in and out, in and out, in and out. That's what a tag team does.
They had the quick tag, and it made I love that Bailey wouldn't get in the ring, even though the crowd was asking for it. They brought back the Bailey chant, which made me happy.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about, a smart crowd where it's like, okay, they know about this chant that happened, a while back, And this is back when it's been a long time, really. It's been years since this chant was used on a slightly regular basis. And they just had a lot of fun singing the hell out of it. And then Bailey kind of, whether or not I feel like they might have made some adjustments on the fly in a couple spots. Like maybe she was going to stay in and they tagged out. And then like you were saying with maybe EO lost a couple spots with Alexa, but she also was like yelling a lot at Asuka. Like they were yelling. It's like they could have been speaking exactly, just not even saying anything. They could have just been saying all the moves they want to do next.
Oh yeah,
and we wouldn't have known. So I don't know. There was a lot of like working on the fly that I thought also again for Cornette to watch. Yeah, like these girls know how to work. So I thought they all did really good in general.
And he like I said, he's never really watched Alexa, and every time he watches Alexa, it's always probably one of her worst matches. So it doesn't help her cause with him. Yeah. But he doesn't really get how much of a promo, and like he doesn't get the full thing of Alexa, being a former women's champion. Like she didn't hold the belt as a diva type of champion. No, she can go. And she's one of those Trish Stratus type folks where, okay, it started rough, but at least she learned and kept getting better. Alexa gets better every time she's in there. And I just think he would be well to, I don't know if he's going to pay attention to it. He might blow it off on his show or whatever. And like I said, I normally don't do this, but I from what I saw in that match, just with all those girls working, that was literally, they were working and it looked good. It looked crisp. You got Bailey and Alexa. They know each other a little bit better, so they can get into the ring and do some things. I liked how they kept Bianca out of it. I like the fact that the crowd wanted Bianca. Like, here's two things about this crowd. It's been a while since they've been there, so there's a little bit of that in that. But I mean, they appreciate a show. Like if you give them a show, they're going to appreciate the hell out of you. They're not just going to be sitting there on their hands or on their fucking phones or anything like that. They're actually there to watch these performers do what they do. And they all throughout the whole damn night, they prove that that's what they were there for. I mean, if you pay, God knows, for whatever it costs in the UK for the goddamn ticket, if you pay that amount of money, you're going to sit there and pay attention to the show you paid for.
Yep.
Yeah. So like, one thing that got me, like when Alexa and, when Asuka and Bailey were in there, like Bailey kills me now. Cause like Bailey knows how to control the crowd and control the timing in the ring now. Like she's starting to be that veteran where she's just like, no, let's slow this shit down. Yeah, I'm gonna put you in a little headlock here, and we're gonna reset, and we're gonna figure out what the fuck we're gonna do. And Asuka was sitting there like, you know what? I'm gonna show you why I'm Asuka. I'm not gonna do the stupid promo shit. I'm gonna do my thing. And she literally got in there and did her thing, especially with her and Io. Like,
and Asuka was over too with the crowd. Her entrance was real big feeling, and they like her, man. So
yeah.
We're getting good Asuka again. We're getting good and then Io, I always liked Io. So like this is good Io again. And she basically did her move went over pretty big because that was the last move of the match. So her little moonsault that she does is what put away.
It always, and I know she's done it a million times, but it always looks scary to me, like she's not going to make it.
Yeah, I know, right? Right. It's definitely one of those new moves where somebody didn't get in her ear and said, figure out something that you can do every night. Because as she ages, that's when it's really going to get scary. Because you're going to be like, okay, 5 years from now, are you going to be able to do that? Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
and I don't know why I like her nickname so much too. It's like it definitely sounds like a English to some other foreign language like title, to put on someone, the genius of the sky. I don't know what it is. It's just like funny. I don't know. I like it.
Well, and that's to also put over the name change. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because after a while, that nobody's going to think about Io Shirai. Nobody's going to think about that. After a while, after a couple of more of these, I mean, you could say this program is over, but you can expand on this a little bit. Now, clearly, this basically goes to Bailey and Bianca. I mean, that's where that's going, but you can expand on this. I don't necessarily like the fact that Alexa is in a tag team type situation, because I still think Alexa can, as a singles wrestler, can still go and is a viable opponent for any of the women's title. I also believe that you have somebody like your veterans up there to kind of like bring along these rookie stars. But like I give you not Dakota. I think Corey Graves even sat there and said, "Hey, a lot of people may not know who Dakota is, but she's been doing this a while." You could tell,
right?
You could tell, like when she came and did that running drop kick and damn near kicked Alexa through the fucking barricade. I'm like, holy shit, And
that's pretty fun.
Let's just call it right now. We were always worried about Alexa and the injuries and the concussions and everything. Something tells me she's fully clear and ready to go. Like
she's back. She's just been, with all that, I feel like she's been minimized, and it's going to be a slow journey back to the top for her. She'll get there.
Yeah,
it's just that they have so much now with Bailey back and Bianca, and I mean they have a lot of stars now with Triple H playing with all the toys. Like she'll get there.
Right, but I'm saying, like, as far as worried about, like, I was always worried about, oh God, is she gonna get a concussion? Like, the Daniel Bryan type stuff, or how we were worried about Seth when he first came back and was wearing the giant knee
every
pads.
match I was holding my breath, man.
That's what I'm saying. This match, I wasn't worried about it. Like in my head, I'm like, okay, Alexa Bliss is back, like she's wrestling, so that's good to actually see. But I mean, I thought that as a starter, I just thought it was not a bad starter for this show. I mean, that's probably where I would have put that match anyway, with everything that I had going on, as well as knowing what the headline match is. You can't drag this, and you also can't put this right before that match. So this is a perfect match to start with.
And it was one of the best of all 30,000 trios matches that happened this weekend. There were a lot of those. Now the next match is one of the. This is what I'm talking about. Gunther versus Sheamus is what I'm trying to watch all the time.
Okay, so the entrances on this one, oh fucking Jesus.
Epic.
This entrance, this entrance was absolutely amazing. When I say Sheamus is over there, there, he's over.
Oh, he could be prime minister. Oh man, he's so over. Oh my god.
This did not disappoint at all. And I do like the fact that they acknowledge Brett and Davey Boy's family.
Oh my god! First of all, they acknowledged Brett the Hitman Hart was there. There was so many luminaries at ringside on this. Leon Edwards, UFC champion, was there. The linear the linear heavyweight champion Tyson Fury was there. Right. He gets involved later. Yeah, man, Bret Hart was there. I mean, was the Queen there? She might as well have been, dude.
Yeah, she was up in the press box. No.
Sweet. No. Prince Harry. No, it was go ahead, yeah. With the entrances.
Yeah, I just think it, as you saw him come down, you could tell that Sheamus is the person that they probably was sitting there who can actually go in there and take a beating and give a beating.
I mean, it looked fucking vicious, man.
Holy cow. I mean, I think at one point, because I didn't want it, that's why I think I sent you a text, And I was like, did you see this yet? Because I didn't want to tell you
Oh,
anything. I
yeah, because I
wanted you to
watched it in the
see it.
afternoon and then I had to stop. But yeah, like, holy shit, man.
They did the stare that they did in the ring a few weeks back. I thought that was perfect. I
Which, where did
literally,
everybody go after the fight broke out? Like, they just disappeared, right?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
like, I didn't miss something there.
yeah. After the fight broke out, everybody went, okay, it's about those two guys. It's about those two guys. And I kid you not, Gunther literally gave him everything he had. At one point in time, I almost thought Gunther got blown up. And I went, oh shit. Now what? Now you have to figure out how to make him look good while he's literally gasping for air. Because when Sheamus kept giving, when he puts you on the ropes and just beats the shit out of your chest, he did it in
Yeah.
3 different spots. And at one point, you basically saw Gunther like, I'm just gonna fall because I can't take any.
Yeah, I think there were a couple of times where like they did. It was like, well, we talked about doing this, but like we can't. Like we're just too fucking tired.
Yeah, yeah.
Because like there were some weird things about the match that I'm like, that I don't think that went the way that it was supposed to. But like also to me, done correctly like it was here, that's fine. Because like if you're telling me a story that you want to beat the shit out of the other guy, like that's what's gonna happen.
Right. And see, and I think once they both got blown up, it got to the point where like the power bomb scared me because Gunther power bombed him, but he didn't have the strength to get the full rotation. And like you could tell, there was a couple of times Sheamus did the John Cena thing where he takes the bump where he puts his arm and his shoulder into it because
Oh yeah,
he doesn't want to go flat back
where you
with
put
his
your hands behind your head type thing.
yeah, he just didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
And but he took that power bomb dead on his tailbone. Like I went, oh shit. So when he sold his back, I believed it because I'm thinking, oh, he probably did. Anybody who's ever fallen on their tailbone, you are virtually paralyzed for a little bit while your body figures out what the fuck it was, the shock that just went through your spine. And you could tell like Sheamus was like, oh fuck.
Which
Okay.
there was another match that happened, right? There's another match where like they were dropped right on their tailbone.
Yeah. Was that
I can't think of who it is.
was that in the Seth match
Maybe
with Riddle?
that would be the other more also very physical match of the night for sure.
Yeah, this I mean that's just going with Sheamus like you had 60,000 people on the edge of their seat literally watching two guys beat the hell out of each other because they're like that's what we are accustomed to. We're not accustomed to all the flippy jump, spot shit. We're accustomed with guys, I mean, they're accustomed to the bruiserweight, although he's got a new gimmick, but they're accustomed to, okay, let's beat the hell out of each other. Let's give a couple of headlocks, give a couple of body slams. Let's just see how long we can go beating the hell out of each other. Like that's what they're accustomed to. And these dudes didn't.
They went for like 20 minutes.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't want to see Sheamus's chest the day after.
Oh no.
Like taking a shower probably is the worst pain he's been in a long time because with their chest beaten up like that, just the water hitting your chest is like needles. It's just like straight needles, razors to your chest. And I think he did well at getting Gunther over. Although Gunther's over, but I'm saying like Sheamus didn't take away from Gunther's push whatsoever.
Oh no.
He made him look like $1,000,000.
Well, that too. I mean, and Sheamus has been there forever, so like, and people know that Sheamus works the way he works, and he's stiff with everything. So it's like, in my mind, if Gunther can overtake him, like that's a feather in his cap kind of thing.
Oh yeah, and that's what it looked like. It almost looked like if I'm just gonna let me just call Sheamus for this example. Let me call him JBL. Like we can all agree, JBL when he was JBL and APA size JBL, like
Yeah.
it was probably one of the toughest son bitches in the locker room. Like just naturally tough. Not professional wrestling, tough. I'm talking about I can take a beating tough. And this match looked like Sheamus is that guy now in the back. Like you could just beat the hell out of him and he'll just fight you like in a bar. And he goes like, you go, Jesus, I'm tired of fighting this dude in the bar. He's still coming. Gunther literally made Sheamus look like he gave him everything. And Sheamus was like, good Lord, I might have bitten off a little bit more than I can chew. That's how this match looked. And that was perfect because it didn't take away from Sheamus whatsoever. And the way the crowd responded to him as the loser of the match showed you it didn't take away from Sheamus at all.
No, that was one of the best ovations of the night, and it was huge. It was like slow and cinematic almost. So it's probably one of the coolest moments. You'll hear Sheamus one day saying that was one of the better moments of his entire career, maybe.
Yeah, and to say that this far into his career,
yeah,
I mean, with everything he's got going on, he's not obviously at the top of the heap to be wrestling for the heavyweight title or the universal title anytime soon. So to know that is just utterly amazing that he was able to put on the performance he put on, and they appreciated the hell out of it. Like he probably went in the back. He probably got a standing ovation when he got to the back.
Yeah.
Like that. That's one of those. Oh my God, you gave them their money's worth. We promoted the hell out of this thing, and these people expected a certain type of match, and God damn it, you delivered. So I just thought this match was like over the moon, and we're like 2 matches in, and I'm like, I'm here for it. I'm here for all of this.
And then if you needed to get a snack, now was your chance because it was Liv Morgan coming out to go against Shayna Baszler. And
dude, this should have been an easy decision. This should have been a layup, and this is the only part of the show that I was not happy with.
Okay, now explain. I know why, but explain why.
Well, you wanted Shayna to win?
One, I love Shayna, but two, Liv more. It's like kind of like they were able to figure out how to get out of the Ronda thing because Ronda should have killed Liv. So now we give her another opponent. The fact that Liv had a fighting chance and was actually winning this match most of the time, like, blew my fucking mind.
Yeah, should have been way behind, but they did have her training with Riddle, who I don't know. I mean, they're trying to get her to level up to be better against Ronda the next time, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I know where we're going, but I don't know. I would have rather Shayna won, and then there was a Ronda and Shayna story, a friends turned into enemies type thing.
Yeah. So Grant and I are on the same page here. This was the one. No. As soon as he mentioned it earlier, when we were texting back and forth, I knew what he was talking about and I was just like, yep, because I'm looking at this as you're in the UK, so if it happens over there, no biggie. And number 2 is the perfect opportunity for it to happen because you did well in trying to make Liv a legitimate champion in the eyes of the universe. And you got everybody on her side. It's a great story, but Shayna should be the champ at this moment. And that, put it this way, you want to see the best work of Ronda Rousey's WWE career, it would have been her against her best friend. Yeah. Because she's comfortable talking shit to somebody she probably talks shit to on a regular basis anyway. They're friends. You know what I mean? She would be comfortable working and delivering the script that they want to give her to say, talking to somebody who would make her look like $1 million in a promo. It also would increase the promo work of Shayna Baszler, which isn't that damn great. So they could have built each other up on that. And then you're talking to people who can go for real. Like, they're not Liv Morgan. They would have put on a match for the ages. because they would have brought in some UFC shit just messing with each other.
Right. Well, it didn't happen. So.
I know. I know. This is part one. This is part one of where if I had to critique it, there's two parts in this show where I went, you missed the boat here. Right. Other than that, I'm completely happy with it. I'm actually happy with the work Liv Morgan did because I didn't expect much, and you could tell she's trying, and you could tell. I mean,
yeah,
again,
she is trying.
Yeah, she's trying, and again, these are the matches she's supposed to be having. She's supposed to be having off camera. These are the matches that she's supposed to be having to build her up, so that when we see her, that we're not doing. Like, these are the matches she's supposed to be having in NXT, the way Mandy Rose is having those matches. Because I watched NXT the other day and saw Mandy Rose, and I saw her promo, and dude, that's not the Mandy Rose that was on the main roster. Like, she can actually come up to the main roster now and actually work and look better. Like, she just had to get reps. Liv needs reps. The thing is, we're watching her reps live in front of our eyes.
Yeah, I think she was definitely called up. I mean, not that I was a big fan of her in NXT, but she was called up way too early with the Riot Squad.
Yeah.
Sure. I really think that this was one of the moments where I'm like, okay, if she gets the belt here, that's fine. By Raw or whatever, you can have Liv win it back, or you can just start the program with her and Ron. I say by Raw, by SmackDown. You can have her start the program with Ronda, and that would have been something to see, because that gives Ronda something to do, and she's still up there. That also builds Shayna up, because again, Shayna is in the Triple H's camp type situation. So, I mean, when she was in NXT, she was a monster. She was just as much of a monster as Asuka was, like, unbeatable. Like, so you could have actually started this process to get Shayna up to the top tier level of women. And I think you missed the boat here, because now what do you do? What do you do for Liv? Who's next for Liv?
I don't know, because she's taken on Ronda and Shayna. Like, I mean, Charlotte? I don't know.
If it's Charlotte, guess what? That belt's coming off her.
Well, it should, once again.
It better.
So, like, what do? Like, I mean, the other ones aren't that exciting. Like, you put her against a Carmella or a... Who else do they even have? Dana Brooke. Like, those people aren't Shayna's and Ronda's. So it's like, well, if she can take them out on our way to Ronda.
Right.
Like, I don't know.
Because if you had done it the way if you done it the other way around, and you did Shayna winning here, you could still have Liv fight her way back. Basically, Liv is the chase type of face. Everything is about the chase to get back to the top. And you could have had Liv go against Carmella, and you could have had Liv go against a bunch of people, and it would have been fine. And Liv could have actually beat all those people. And Shayna and Ronda could have been like, Jesus Christ, she's a little pest. We can't get rid of her. Yeah. That, you could have done that with this type of thing, and it would have been fine. But now it's like you're in a hole. You're in a hole because who's next for Liv? Because now you're saying Liv is in the Asuka camp. You know, she's got two. What I mean by that is, all right, she's got two title defenses against some damn good wrestlers or damn good brawlers, and she beat the brawlers. Yeah. So if she beat the real fighters, Ronda and Shayna are real fighters. If she beat them, then who the fuck? I mean, who you gonna put in front of her now? So yeah, I mean, like I said, it was an interesting match, and you know, good for them. But I would have loved to see it go the other way.
All right. Well, now that we spent 30 minutes on a let me up match, Fuck. And the next match was one of the greatest moments in human history. It's almost like you remember Cain and Abel and like Exodus.
Oh my god.
You remember stories like Genesis and Deuteronomy? This is like that.
Okay, so those aren't stories; those are actual books of the Bible. But okay, go ahead.
I know. Yeah.
Well, hold on. This is another book. It's a new book.
Okay.
This is why he wanted us to get through Liv Morgan so quickly.
Yeah. Catch your tail.
This is a new book.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have all the elements of a biblical story right here. Sorry, book. This is like you don't need a Dead Sea Scroll. It's playing out before your eyes. We are witnessing history. Edge teams up with Rey Mysterio, accompanied by his son, who he loves, Dominic. And they go against the Judgment Day, okay, represented in this case by Finn Balor, which means warrior in Gaelic, and Damian Priest. Puh. He ain't no priest I ever met.
And Rhea. Don't forget about Maria.
Accompanied by Rhea Man-Eater Ripley. More like a succubus.
And they put pants back on her.
She's got pants back on.
Thank God.
She
looks more menacing with pants.
Yeah.
And she's still doing the new Joker girl punchline look or whatever, kind of. I don't know. They're just spooky and purple. All of them are. So, Edge was very over. I told you, and this goes back to what I said about Canada, that they didn't quite, you know what I mean, get their independence, you know? Because these Canadians are so over there because they're all paying the same taxes or whatever. They all have the same taxation and representation. So
yeah, somehow there wasn't a reaction for Finn. I thought he would get a little bit more.
I have theories about that.
Okay.
I think he comes from a part of Ireland that these Irish people in Wales don't like or something like that. And also that it's either that, either it's really political and real life reasons, or it's because he was the heel and the crowd was like, you know, really,
yeah, and I mean it is Edge and Ray, so
yeah. But or maybe they just fucking hate him in Wales. Maybe I don't know, but he was just as Irish as Sheamus, and he got none of the standing O that Sheamus got. But the match itself was pretty damn good. It was just Edge was one of the hottest hot tags in a while, you know, because he was mega mondo holy shit over. It's like he was just as over as Sheamus for the most part. And if it's almost like if Sheamus was in a tag match, how hot those tags would have been in front of this crowd. Yeah. So that was pretty fun. He came out in a mask and all that stuff. I thought that was kind of cool. And then it was just a pretty straightforward tag match between good and evil. And the big story here, I mean, I would give the match like a C plus B or whatever you want to do. But what happened after the match, I will never forget. As long as
Dominic just sat in the ring looking stupid for a couple minutes.
Wait! Before you get to that, can we say that the Archer needs to be a solo star?
Yeah, he will be. I think he will be for sure.
Well, every time I look at him work, I go, "Yeah, he could do this."
Yeah, and he can also, even though he has the look he has, he could be a good guy even.
Well, he was, and maybe when Bad Bunny comes back, he'll just stop being spooky and go back to being Puerto Rican. And maybe because I think there's more money in being Puerto Rican than there is being spooky. So you should probably just go back to being Puerto Rican. That'd be great if that's gonna be his gimmick, because that's kind of what his gimmick was at that time. He was like, "Hey, I'm a Puerto Rican guy."
Yeah, the Native American that turned into the Puerto Rican. It's literally what's my guy Kofi? It's literally Kofi.
Yeah, they just switch around a little bit. I
Yeah,
think he just looks like a character from Mortal Kombat 3. I don't know why, but
Yeah,
yeah, that's kind of like overall his gimmick
like
is
Smoke.
something. But
Was Smoke a robot by that point?
he became a robot later. He
Okay.
became a robot later. Okay, so yeah, so in the after the match, so Edge did a bad 619. The crowd did not care. And
Yeah,
Ray
I mean, that was not. I mean, he could have just fallen through the ropes and they would have cheered for him.
I know. It was a pretty easy crowd for him. And then Ray hit the splash. They won clean over I think it was Finn Balor.
yep.
And then they're celebrating in the ring. Dominic kicks Edge in the balls,
And the cojones.
in the cojones, and Edge sells with just almost sold to the point of looking comical, I thought, but it was because he was like, "What have you done?" Oh, it was like it's just kind of funny that it happened on a low blow. Now that I think about it, but he timed it well enough where it's like, "What are you doing?" It was kind of, I don't know, like a Dragon Ball Z nut shot or something. It's what it looked like to me. So it must have been a hell of a kick to the nuts because that just powdered him out. And then he and and then Dominic turned on his father, Ray,
With a clothesline from hell.
yes, and just was beating on his father. And apparently, and then Judgment Day was laughing about it. He did not go through any ceremony and officially join Judgment Day, but man,
Which I did love. I love that shot with them in the background just fucking losing
yeah.
it.
Well,
Oh,
this
that shot of Finn just. I mean, he was giggling like a schoolgirl giggling.
Oh, yeah.
Like. But I actually said, you know what, Dominic, good for you on this one because the clothesline looked great. He planted his dad. And
I'm looking at it again here, but
yeah,
there's the kick to the nuts. That was a good solid, but yeah, he really does. He like he has a long stare. He gets in Edge's face and pushes him away, but
right.
it's a hell of a nut shot that just sort of paralyzed the man for a good length of time while Dominic and man, yeah, I'm taking a look at the clothesline right now. He is bigger than his dad.
He's bigger than his dad, and that one was like, yeah, this is for
boom. Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying for Dominic. Yeah. That looks that's what he needs. Like no one is believing that Dominic can go, and he's obviously his body needs some work, and he needs to stop looking like he's the scared kid about to get beat up by the bully. Like once he gets his look together, then he's more believable. But that clothesline made him look believable. Like I went, God damn, you don't look stiff. You went with it. You leveled your dad. Your dad sold pretty well. Maybe you thought, this is for turning off my Nintendo back in the day. I don't know, but
maybe this is
the proper workout regime in the gym.
Right. Or maybe it's for deciding his custody in a damn ladder match instead of just forking up some fucking money and getting a good lawyer. I mean, that could have all been avoided with some litigation, I mean, he could have just and what the hell is he talking about? How much time did he spend at Eddie's house growing up? I mean, what was going on, So
there was a lot of questions during that time period, right?
So anyhow, no, this is what happens. Like, man, Rhea Ripley though, she, it only took her and she wrapped her legs around his head, and 3 weeks later, he's slapping his dad to get back in there.
Hey, man, that's how it goes.
He's just going after the wrong kind of woman. That's what I'm saying. This is a very realistic. It's kind of a realistic storyline.
Yeah, women will make you do stuff like that.
That's hilarious. Anyway, so I wonder if he's gonna go spooky or just kind of be, he'll probably go. He has to go spooky, right?
I don't know if he does. I hope he goes full
go
on
through his goth phase.
Well, I hope he goes full on where he's gonna look like a little emo.
And hold on, is he gonna? I think that they might do the Rhea romantic angle, right? Won't they? I think so. Crazy girlfriend angle, basically.
That's gonna
Oh
look.
man,
That's gonna
that'll
look
look
weird.
funny. That'll look weird. It'll be kind of funny, but
So,
uh,
having said that, I know we're gonna
wow,
get to
yeah,
this match that we all agree was fucking amazing,
yeah.
and goddamn Seth Rollins, goddamn, damn you, Seth Rollins, like
I mean, it started a little bit slow, but when it went, it fucking went.
yeah,
Yeah,
when it,
that's kind of how the matches go. His matches go a little bit
but
sometimes.
but he's over in the UK. When I say they sang his song for majority
Yeah,
of the match,
the motherfucker came out looking like Elton John, and they were like, "Here we go."
Dude, yeah, he did. He had an Elton John tribute entrance attire and ring attire.
no,
Uh,
he's literally
yeah,
wearing the woman's devil outfit that they sell for Halloween.
Well,
yeah,
my thing that
kind of.
got me was the hat. Like it was literally a baseball hat that they found and cut the fucking the front part off and then put some
Yeah,
duct tape on it. Like it fucking killed me.
it was definitely from even from the movie that just came out. He wore a similar outfit. The biopic about Elton John. This was
Yeah.
in that. Yeah, whatever that's called. I didn't watch it yet. It
Somebody
was.
was in the back going, "I need horns. Give me
Oh,
horns."
they had fun with it though. Yeah, it was cool. And I mean, between that and making a mask for Edge for the night, there was some unique, cool entrance looks on this one. I do think that Seth Rollins has accidentally just fallen ass backwards into a good gimmick.
Yeah.
It did not start well because he was being so fucking annoying, and it was just it didn't do it for me or a lot of people, and he was just kind of squeaky and shitty sounding in his promos and everything. But here on this one, he had like real beef. Like he got mad. Like he was a guy scheduled to have a match with a guy who brought up his family, and fighters get like mad about that stuff for real. They're like, wait a minute, you can talk about me, but you can't talk about my family. Like that's off. And that happens in prize fighting. So it kind of like brought that kind of vibe. And Matt Riddle comes from UFC and all that stuff. And so yeah, his little comment, if you saw in their little uh kind of it was an old school like kind of like sports center sort of interview style where they talked to both of them at remote locations, and he talks shit about how he's divorced. So they being Seth Rollins about Matt Riddle. I thought it was good because it was a reason with all these stupid reasons people are fighting in wrestling nowadays for them to actually crank it up with something that feels a little more like what adults might do instead of like all the kid writing that's been going on. It kind of was refreshing, and so it made sense that these guys wanted to gouge each other's eyes out.
Well, from what I read too, there is a little bit of backstage shit with them too.
Right.
Yeah,
Because Matt Riddle's wife talks shit about Becky at one point.
Oh, well, there are. But yeah, I mean, she divorced him and left yeah, so he brought it up. I don't know, man. It was pretty, I mean, it had that, but I'm saying it seems like grown men having a problem with each other and instead of some of the stupid shit that goes on.
And it's fucked up by the time the end of the match happened, man. Like he was screaming in his face, like, "You're a
Yeah.
loser, and that's why your wife left you," all while
Yeah.
giving him a gigantic fucking welt on his head.
Yeah.
and th-
And then Matt
and
got to
then
turn it on and hit the shit out of him. And it was some of the best fired up offense I've seen in a while.
and then because as Seth wins this, right, he's walking up the ramp and he's like, "See you never."
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was pulling some corny shit in there a little bit.
Oh
Yeah,
my god!
he's still got to work the kinks out of that, but I think that when he turned a little nastier in this one, I just felt like his gimmick was a little better this time around than
Yeah.
it has been because it's been kind of lame. But it was a good match and a good ending because he did get pissed off and then he runs in to do, he catches him with the curb stomp and then does the super curb stomp. So it kind of put Riddle over. It takes two of those things,
Mm-hmm.
So that was a strong finish.
Yeah, if they actually have problems with each other, they're professional enough to still work. I
Yeah.
like the fact that they're professional enough to still work with each other and still be safe with each other.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, this match, like I said, this match leading into our headliner because I know we still got to do All Out. This match leading into our headliner had folks ready to go for the headline.
Well, and we can go into the headline. I also think that maybe it didn't help the good God, man. I do have a complaint about the way this thing started, and yeah, first of all, the package was really long and it told like all of Drew McIntyre's life story. My thing is, knowing the result, I think you save all that for another time, or
Correct.
I don't know, man.
Okay.
It was fucking long, dude.
Okay, so
God damn, and the entrances were so long.
Whoa.
Ah!
Whoa, this is like, whoa. Okay, so I'm just going to say this. The package would lead you to believe that this is Drew's night. Now, before we get into this match, let me go ahead and say it right now. Remember I said there are 2 points where I went, boy, did you fucking miss the boat. All right,
they did.
All right, WWE, you fucking missed the boat here. Here's the deal. You give me this long ass package and you start with Drew McIntyre's old song, go into his goddamn new song, you show him literally working his way up the ladder. Now, remember,
practically went back to when he was an infant. It was like the longest package. When I saw how young they showed him as like a high schooler or something, and I was like, "Oh God, this is gonna be long," and I was right.
Yeah, when you go back that far, you're trying to lead us in a certain direction. Now, if you're trying to do it for the swerve, you don't have to. I'm just going to tell you right now, Drew McIntyre won a WrestleMania with nobody in the crowd. There was TV screens, LED walls, virtual people. This, if you ever wanted to give him the real WrestleMania moment that he missed out on, this is the place you do it, in front of his home country. I mean, anything that happens outside the United States in wrestling, always people just assume will be rectified in the United States. Like, you could literally have Hulk Hogan lose the world title outside this country and he win it back inside this country and people go, I don't know what happened there. So there would have been nothing wrong for Roman to lose outside of the country. Nothing wrong. You could have gave Roman the title back on a goddamn on Raw or a SmackDown the following week. You really could. And it still would have built up what you need to build up for The Rock. You could have sat there and said that was a blip in the road. Everything fell apart. The bloodline wasn't there. You had every excuse in the book to make this actually happen. And people go, well, yeah, there's so many reasons why Roman lost. It wasn't fair for him to lose. And what you do is give us a great fucking match, pound for pound, blow for blow. When I said this guy is so over, and that crowd wanted him to take the. I'm gonna tell you this right now. I think I almost text you, Grant. I literally sat there and said, "This reminds me of the Goldberg Hogan moment." That crowd was so ready for Hulk Hogan to lose that they were like, whatever you want to do, Goldberg. We know you're a rookie, but shit, I don't know. Do whatever. As long as fucking Hogan loses tonight. That's where this crowd was. If it was ever a night for Roman to lose, that was the night. And then, go ahead, Julian.
Yeah, and then he didn't lose. Or he didn't win. He didn't win. He being Drew McIntyre. Pronouns paro. Succotash.
Like, how they did it. I mean,
well,
Jesus Christ.
it was realistic in that there are so many of these annoys or whatever that they just pop up everywhere, including Cardiff, Wales. He has so many cousins that they're just like you can't open a newspaper without one of them just popping out and clotheslining you. You know?
I mean, there's so many different ways you could go with that. But
There's a
they
lot
made
of
it
them.
a point. They made it a point to say Roman was here by himself. The bloodline wasn't here. So I get it. They're setting that up. But
Mhm.
at that moment in time, let's just say another Oos shows up and you're like, oh my, which Oos is this?
Well, they gave him blonde hair because nobody's going to know the difference.
Right.
He
But
just looks like Jey Uso with blonde hair, by the way.
with short blonde hair.
Yeah.
And okay, he interferes. I still say you make it. It was the perfect ending. It was the perfect 3, 2, 1. The kick. Everybody felt it.
Yeah.
This is one of those moments in wrestling when they say you feel it. The crowd feels that you feel it.
Mhm.
And if it would have been a 1, 2, 3, and I don't know if you could have done some things with the ref. I mean, because there was the second ref. I don't know how you could have played it for the folks back here in the States of why Roman Reigns lost, but you chose to go that direction. Now, to me, there is no other alternative but to have Roman Reigns and The Rock in Hollywood. I'm sorry. There's who else you gonna? They made it a point to tell you everybody Roman Reigns has beat in the dang 2 years he's been champion. There is nobody left other than Cody coming back. There is nobody left to put in front of Roman where people say they have a shot. He's beaten everybody. You think they have a shot. So it has to be The Rock now. Like literally, you banked on this. Either The Rock signed the contract before they flew over there, or like you're banking on this now. Because what reason would anybody have? What reason would anybody have to sit there and go, Roman's got a title defense and care?
Yep. And it was a kind of a boring match. I thought it was kind of long, kind of boring, and then it got to the ending, and it was great. The shine is always good in these. That's why it's like I'm so okay with them just cutting to the chase and going straight to that. And that actually would have been all right here. But damn, the entrance was so long. They're still walking in, man. It's so crazy. Like it's just it started so slow, and they just oh my god, the walkout and Roman's new music. If that's what he's using now, is yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. So anyway, yeah, his entrance just so long. God. And he came out with a sword again, and he just has a sword in his hand. He can't interact and do a lot of things because he has this giant broadsword in his hand.
Well,
He being Drew McIntyre.
He didn't plant the sword either. I thought he would do something about planting the sword.
Yeah, and when when Drew McIntyre lifted his sword, all it did was make did the pyro not go for his entrance?
I think the
I
pyro
don't
did
think
not
that
go.
pyro was allowed in that building because if you notice, it didn't. Nobody got it. They made the sound, but nobody got it.
They made the sound and they had the smoke cannons. There was no, but that didn't go. Like that didn't even happen. So,
right.
I can tell you that Theory sold that punch fucking perfect.
Yes, Tyson Fury punched out
Theory.
Austin Theory, and it
looks like he had a seizure.
Yeah,
it looked like he had a seizure.
He held his arm like he got knocked out in a boxing manner. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. And then Tyson Fury came into the ring at the end of the show and gave those guys the legitimate rub. That's big money, man. Tyson Fury's the linear heavyweight champion of the world. huge pay-per-view draw by himself. He, of course, laid a turd in Saudi Arabia in the one thing he did with The Undertaker, or whatever that was. But it's really hot there, and he just did it for a ton of money. So, don't judge him.
But my thing is, if you used him to stop the Money in the Bank winner from cashing in, you would think you would want it to be a clean finish.
Yeah, that was a little
because
weird.
he stopped a potential finish that would have taken away from the moment that it was. Then you had the finish you had. And it was just like, then what was the purpose of okay.
Yeah. A little confusing, but he did sing American Pie, but I swear he was really editing the hell out of it and screwed it up, but it didn't matter because the audience eventually came around for the end of the song. But he's done that at the end of some of his fights.
I know, but it's weird.
It was a little, yeah. But you know what? It feels like that when he does it at his pay-per-views. So
correct. I really think they were like, how do we send these people home happy? Because they're ready to tear this place apart.
Yeah. So
I really think that's what it was. It was like, oh, yeah, we know what we're gonna do to these folks, but I don't know how we would recover if they riot in this building. So
yeah, they just can't. They need to get to the happy ending sometime here. I mean, they're still booking like they were, where everybody's going home pretty bummed out, and just everybody wakes up the next day just believing the bad guy always wins.
Yeah. All right. So that was the Click Castle. Let's get to All Out.
Well, this show was like,
he's on the mic. He's on.
Well,
I know he won't back up.
He won't back up like that.
No. Well, all right.
But this is Julian's AEW corner.
Oh God, I don't want it to be. This show was like so long. Remember how I said those things? That was how the entrances for Roman and McIntyre were long and the package was long. This was just long. It felt long. It was long. It's like 5 hours, over 5 hours in grand total. With their pre-show, the only highlight from the pre-show was that Action Bronson showed up to save his buddy Hook. And so that's kind of cool. Nice to see him. Sabian and Pac also had a match that could have very well have taken the place of any of the trios matches and saved time and patience. I think they could have put Sabian and Pac on the main card. They did not. Chris Sabian, so now the poor Kip Sabian, whoever, he's not known by many people and he's still not getting the full exposure. Ishii and Kingston was also on that as well. I don't know what the hell was going on with that. The beginning was their equivalent of a Money in a Bank ladder match. It's basically the same exact rules and concept, and it was a mess of a match. It wasn't that totally unwatchable, but it had a very awkward ending when the Joker, the unnamed mystery opponent, came out. But before that he did, Stokely Hathaway came out with a group of all sorts of people, including I don't know what they call him now, but it was it Cash, the 7-foot tall guy that was with help me out here. What's his name? You know what I'm talking about. Did you guys just go to the bathroom? They both just went to the bathroom. They don't even. Are you there? Anybody there?
I don't know his name.
Oh my God. All right. Well, anyway, the Joker won the match. Okay. Gets the coin, and we're all kind of guessing who this person is. He's wearing a mask. He never takes it off.
So,
He-
I
Jesus,
just want to. I just want to. I'm
I needed you.
sorry.
I'm gonna get through this.
I know,
You
but
know,
it was just funny because I was like, if I let it go, can he give us a rant? Like we have a big. All right. Side note, folks. Sorry. I'm sorry. Side note, folks. So last episode we had placed a rant of Julian like before the episode having technical difficulties, and I in my head I was like, I wonder if I can get another rant like that just by being quiet. You were close. I'm sorry. All right, go ahead. Now, what
I
were you
was,
saying?
I was getting there.
I know. All right, so what were you saying?
Well, okay. So the Joker, first of all, he comes out. The entrance music is "Sympathy for the Devil" by the Rolling Stones. That is not cheap. That has to be amongst some more expensive songs.
The license?
Artists.
Yeah.
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 So let's see what happens there. Put a pin in that because the Joker won the chip, right? And that's kind of like the Money in the Bank. So this person just walks in after everybody gets cleared out. It's kind of a non-match, and yeah, there was some really obvious, very set up things by Andrade, and just like Andrade and Roosh could have went for the win at one point, but they just started setting up things to do weird things to other people, and that's just the kind of match it was. It was really the audience was kind of stupefied by it, and they didn't know where to cheer, and it wasn't very good. The next match was also not everyone's cup of tea. It was the Elite versus Hangman and the Dark Order. This is the finals of the Trios Championship tournament.
I wonder who won that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, who do you think won? Um, it was
Would
odd.
it be the EVPs and the okay, go ahead.
It would be the EVPs who we'll get to later as well. Yeah, it was a fairly cool, well rehearsed ending. With basically yeah, Paige Buckshot lariating John Silver or whatever his name is. Yeah, John Silver. That's his fucking name. And he's not a pirate. He's just a little guy. He's not a bad little worker. Little guy. Little worker guy. Not too bad, but anyway, he's the lowest man on the totem pole, so of course Paige is gonna hit him to knock him out so Omega can pin him in the most politically correct ending of a trios match I've ever seen in my life. Just the backstage booking on that thing is just so evident and weird that, oh my god. So anyway, yeah, they're your trios champion very, very predictably.
And
So
we're just not going to call them 6-man tags anymore, right?
they're called trios matches, and they're called, I think it's the standard match for fucking AEW because they had like 4 of those fuckers on this thing, and
But
it was
but
ridiculous.
we're not actually going to call them 6-man tags anymore.
No, and I guess in a way that's sort of what people say. Oh, that's what they're called in Mexico, and it's like, well, kind of, but not really.
Yeah, I was wondering because I don't recall them calling them that in Mexico either. But like they've been 6-man tags for I don't know since wrestling started.
Yeah,
So, but
yeah,
we're just getting rid of
yeah,
that.
yeah.
getting rid of
Um,
getting rid
uh,
of that. So
Omega and
so we can do
him.
duos match. Can we have duos matches? It's not tag teams anymore. It's just duos matches. I'm just sorry. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
All right. So the only the crowd would pop when Omega and Paige were in there at the same time or something like that. Little the what's his name, Nick Jackson, not Matt. He had seemingly, if he does have actual lower back pain, it would explain why he's like barely in some matches and kind of moves around like late era Shawn Michaels at times. But Kenny seems well and good and everything. But yeah, there were a lot of really obvious spots in that match. And that's sort of the thing with those trios matches with the Elite is that they have all these like video game moves that they all do at the same time. It's very Power Rangers-esque at times. And also the rules are kind of followed, kind of not. It's very confusing. And they had so many trios matches where they were sometimes really on the rules and the ref was like doing the counts and making sure the legal man was in and all this stuff. And then they would just not do that seemingly in other ones, in other matches.
Show those to me because I've never seen really a tag team match from the Bucks or a trios match from the Bucks that show me that the rules apply and the ref is worth a damn.
It's weird,
I've never seen it because that's the one of many knocks I have on them. When it comes to their matches, the ref doesn't matter.
Right. That was what it was, and it was very predictable. And it had fucking everything under the sun, and it was kind of long. A lot of kickouts, a lot of fucking kickouts. That was just burnt up the crowd for the most part, and they were cold as ice for Jade versus Athena. Jade looked cool. She was in a She-Hulk getup. This match sucked. That's all I can say about it.
And why do you think this match sucked? I mean,
it sucked.
That's rhetorical. Wait, that's rhetorical because
it was bad.
Because again, we're watching Jade. Yeah. Again, I'm going to say this: Jade will be good. We don't need to watch her get to the level she needs to be TV ready. And we're watching her get to that level, and it's painful.
Yeah.
It's painful to watch her get ready for TV.
Yeah. And I don't like Athena as a wrestler. I just don't. I don't get it.
We know.
I just she's my Bret Hart. She's like my Bret Hart, for you. I don't get it. I don't know. Her fucking character. I mean, she moves around weird. I don't like that her finisher is a flying stunner.
That's one of the best finishers in women's wrestling.
Yeah, you're Julian, you're wrong.
All right. Well, moving on.
Wardlow. How many flying stunners have you seen anybody do?
None, and that's how I like it. All right, moving on. Wardlow and FTR versus Jay Lethal and the Motor City Machine Guns. Again, I wish this wasn't a trios match. It could have been just a Wardlow against the Jay Lethal for the TNT title and a FTR versus the MCMG, right? That would have been cool. Mm-hmm. Then that would have been two pretty darn good matches that were kind of interested. And they could have gotten bumped one of the other things. You could have had the Pac thing up here, bumped another one of the trios matches. I honestly think the only trios match that you have on your pay-per-view when you're fucking crowning a trios champion for the first time ever should be that stupid title match. Just let that be the only one and then move this thing around. That's why I'm like, that's all they need to do is just get the vision board out and just shuffle the things around on the page. All right, Tony. Jesus criminy. So this was great and all, but my booking ideas made me think it sucked. So I'm moving on. The next match is Ricky Starks versus Powerhouse Hobbs, with the former Team Taz teammates fighting each other. It was short, which it only stood out that it was short because everything else was really long, and just everything that was maybe. I wonder if they were running out of time, if they were having some time constraint issues with some of the matches and some of the things. I just think
I would believe that. I don't believe they do time management well. I'll believe that. I believe that they don't have crisp segments to keep everything on time. And then they look up and go, oh, we're over?
Yeah.
Who's out there?
Kind of weird. And so Hobbs got a quick win over Ricky Starks. It just felt weird for their feud because it's like you're having a blow off, and Taz is on commentary, not playing favorites and things like that. There's just something to it, and then they just sort of maybe it was too soon to do the match. Maybe it could have been bumped altogether. Maybe they could have schmozzed it up a little bit more just for the sake of story. But the next match was probably probably like you were saying, there were two moments that they missed their chance on with Clash at the castle. I would say this was the big glaring moment, maybe the only like booking decision as far as who went over, aside from maybe whatever the last one, sure. But as far as a big one, the Acclaim versus Swerve in Our Glory, the crowd, that was very smart markish and annoyingly so, and where I give them a lower grade than the Cardiff crowd is, they were really interjecting themselves in the show, whereas I think the Cardiff crowd picked their spots. Their Smarty Marcus, chant was the Bailey song, and they rooted for rooted against the heels and cheered for the baby faces, and were just an overall amazing live audience. This crowd was sort of trying to hijack the show and book it live in front of you, and you could just feel the tweets coming out of their little mouths as they're out there. And they were really hot for the Acclaimed, and you could tell it was just Swerve was, they did a good job of switching heel and staying a little more heelish. But they had a fucking shit fuck ton, a metric shit fuck megaton times infinity amount of fucking false finishes in this match, to the point where the crowd was chanting bullshit. And I think they meant bullshit as in enough already. Like enough of the shtick. Enough. Like it was just too fucking many, man. I lost count. I'm battling the sleep. Dear God, what did this website give it? Bleacher Report gave this an A-. Suck my ass. It was not an A-. This match was pretty good. It's just like, I don't know what to call it. Grade wise, it's got to go way down, because the ending was just like, what the fuck? Too many close calls, in my opinion. And Swerve in Our Glory hit their crazy ass finisher and just won. But and then they kind of got Billy Gunn to give them their heat back or some shit at the end. It was confusing. The scissor me daddy thing is really over with the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn. It's gross, but it's funny, I guess.
Do you think that folks are finally over Keith Lee?
No, I think he had plenty of he was just, I think that he can be a real heel. And that might be a better spot for him. Yeah.
Yeah, I it just seems that the way they brought him in and the way they're using him, and his reluctance to give up part of his original, I guess, gimmick, what made him on the indies or whatever, it's almost to the point where it's like, okay, dude, enough. Like, someone needs to get control of his image. And I think if he would be susceptible to whatever advice that is, I think it'll be better, because it's not his work. His work is good and decent enough to get over. Maybe if that's the way he talks, then the character can't talk like that. If that's Keith Lee, I need the character Keith Lee to talk I need him to be different. I don't know what type of voice, but it can't be that. That's not the image. The image doesn't match the voice. It just doesn't. And then you go, where the fuck? I mean, it's like Keith Lee embodied Hunter Hemsley. Like, it's right. Like, where did you come up with this?
Yeah,
and
I don't know.
And if that is you, Somebody has to be like, don't talk. Just go out there and do what you do. Don't talk. Not at all.
You could always punch him in the throat and he loses the power of speech. You could always do that.
Something. But I think
Yeah.
with with the combination of him and Swerve, it's like, okay, dude, like what are you? Tell me what, as a team, what is the gimmick? Because I think a lot of people just don't know. They just know that they like those two. And I don't know. I mean, being in Chicago, I don't know if that's good enough.
No.
Like, you have to have your image down. So that's why I say, if they were trying to hijack that moment, or if they were just like, enough already, like I think part of it is a lot of those reasons that you brought up. But I also think it's like, we don't know who he is or who they are. So why is this going this long? Like, seriously. Yeah.
If you're not going to have FTR as the tag champs, then you got to probably go with the Acclaimed at this point, because they are over, and just go ahead and have that. They're part of the show. You could say they don't need the belts, but I think they do at some, because they are the dedicated tag team and they're not breaking up anytime soon. And the match was pretty good, actually. It was pretty good. It was just really long. It was long. Everything's so long. The next match was kind of long too, but it was all right enough. It was the 4-way dance for the AEW Women's Interim Championship. So this is Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter, Hikaru Shida, and Toni Storm. And so the crowd, this is where I say they hijacked the show a little bit. Their heat was really weird because it's a 4-way match. They don't know who to root for altogether. They're popping for everybody's entrance, and Britt Baker got the biggest ovation in general, right? But they started chanting for Jamie Hayter, and I'm like, you smart mark douchebags. Like, they just, like, I don't know. It just, they screwed. Everything was weird. And Sheeta got kicked, like got injured or something happened with Britt Baker, and then she went to the back. And then her solution to all of that was eventually she came back out with 2 kendo sticks instead of 1. So I guess that was her solution and her comeback from the back. Either way, the match had some all right moments with some botched moments with some okay moments mixed in, and Toni Storm eventually pulled it out and won. So Toni Storm is now your interim women's champion. She is, unofficially slated to combine those titles against her friend and former tag team partner or current tag team partner, Thunder Rosa, whenever that happens.
Well, I know Grant's happy.
Oh yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy. Well,
shit.
I'll take a Jamie Hayter too.
Say what?
Yeah. But well, I hold on, Grant. Me first, all right. I saw it first. All right? This is my gimmick, all right. This is my gimmick, not yours. Okay.
Well, he gave you Thunder Rosa, so he gets Toni Storm.
Well, hold on. What is this? What is this? Oh, we have the power to just hand people out now.
No, I'm just saying. Every show we've done since the beginning of this podcast is
Thunder Rosa. Yeah, we love her. She's so great.
like, so now Toni Storm wins, and you're like,
And
Toni Storm with your Vegemite and your wallabies and your spiders.
wow,
Right.
I like how you do that. I like how you shit on Toni Storm, but you didn't shit on Rhea Ripley once.
I'm not shit. Oh yeah. Well, she doesn't talk enough. I don't know why I can't apply the same things to her, because she's being all spooky. That's why. I'm afraid. I'm afraid of getting choked in the corner or whatever. The next match just fucking sucked. Everything about it sucked. This sucked. This whole endeavor sucks. At this point, this should just stay off the television screen, because I don't know what the fuck they're doing, and it's going to keep going, apparently. Christian Cage against Jungle Boy. This sucked. Christian Cage comes out. The Perry family is there, I guess. Jungle Boy's mom and sister are there front row. He walks up to them and catches a slap in the face. So he got a receipt for his comments about the late Luke Perry. I don't think that, even though he made a joke or whatever about him being dead, I don't think that's as bad as Jungle Boy's fictional, I'm assuming fictional story about digging his own father's grave and crying in the rain, and you know what I mean. This has been fucking weird, uncomfortable. It started off all right. So here's what also here. Oh god. So the match starts. Jungle Boy comes out, and then wouldn't you know it, his friend turned enemy turned friend again, Luchasaurus, comes out and turns enemy again, choke slamming him onto the metal grates at the entryway. And then he power bombed him through the timekeeper's table, and then a very quick, yes, and then a very quick, throw into the ring, led by some moves, and Christian wins, very quickly, and the audience just booed the hell out of it. Sort of, it was just weird. It was like Luchasaurus turning on him again was just weird, and there was no follow up microphone, or I don't know. It was bad. The next thing was not that great either, but it was watchable for the most part. Again, another puzzling booking decision here with the result. But Bryan Danielson versus Lionheart Chris Jericho.
Can I say that this finish, or who went over the horrible decision?
Who was it?
Jericho won. The match was mostly all right. It was, they kept it pretty, again, with the theme of this is a wrestling match, and there was no silliness or furniture or any of that stuff. No blood. None of that. I mean, the match was fine enough, but you could just tell that Jericho has absolutely lost a step, and it's like it had to be a little more slow paced and a little more. I don't know. It sort of worked for Jericho, but it was also just kind of like he is slower than he has been in the past, and he's trying to kind of look like he did when he was in the 90s with these moves and everything. So there's a little bit of a misstep there. Either way, the match turned out. Jericho just sort of did the old so there's a back waist lock, and what you do is you, as the heel, run to the corner and you kind of get the referee in the corner, and then you do the low blow. So Ric Flair did this spot a lot, and I think Roddy Piper did it as well. And anyway, so he did this spot, and that led to the win, like the Judas effect, which looked like crap, and then the win. So he just kind of went over mostly clean. Like the audience sort of got what he did, but they've seen like basically a car crash. They've seen a Money in the Bank type ladder match and like all sorts of triple, 3-on-3 shits and the 4-way dance and just tables and grates and choke slams and dinosaurs. They've seen everything. So they were just sort of flat for the finish a little bit. Jericho gets to say he's the best wrestler in the world now. And that's it. So it was a split response from the fans, which tells me that you just fucked up somewhere with the booking and the heat, and probably should have just had Danielson win or do something else. I don't know. I'm not sure. Something other than this. Yeah, I don't know. It should have been maybe a total heel win if it was going to be a heel win for Jericho, because this just is weird. I don't know. The next match was the House of Black, who has my favorite spooky entrance. If I had to choose between all the spooky entrances, theirs is my favorite. They come out again, a very long package telling all the stories going on. This could have been broken up into a singles match and a tag match, but they didn't. It's a trios match on a night of trios matches. House of Black went against Sting, Darby Allin, and Miro. I was happy to see Sting. Darby Allin did sort of his thing. Miro was great, I thought, in general. He looks great. This match was fine enough. It just felt like a Dynamite match, sort of, except I guess Sting now is on a lighter schedule than he was before. uh, I don't know. The match, there was some silly shit, and then the match ended with Darby Allin, Sting, and Miro winning. So the House of Black as a group are kind of like looking weaker and weaker as they go, and they're gonna need to get a win and destroy some people sometime if they're gonna keep that thing together. That leads us into the world title match between Jon Moxley and CM Punk. And
This is Grant's favorite match here.
I was fucking falling
Why is
asleep.
it my favorite match?
Because
I was falling asleep, man. This is so long, and I was falling asleep during the Sting stuff, and it was a long show, man. The main card from when it started was a 4 hour long show, and it'd been a long weekend, and a day of some activity, and I was fighting sleep. Anyway, I thought this match was gonna end quickly because he did a GTS really early, and then he only got a 2 count, and I got very, very upset that this match just wasn't over and it had to keep going. And I knew it was going to last forever at this point. And Punk bled early on, a little bit after this, in the Moxley offense, which of course took place outside of the ring. And anyhow, the match was fine enough. Moxley went for his, one of those a good WWE style use my finisher, counter your finisher, finisher to finisher, finish. You know what I mean? And then, CM Punk hit the GTS for the win. Crowd is happy. Everything is all good. And then the lights go out, and a voicemail from Tony Khan plays clearly to MJF, explaining how it's been months and since they've done whatever, he needs them to show up to All Out. He'll pay him X amount of dollars, and he can be the Joker in the All In Casino ladder match, whatever. And sure enough, MJF comes out. You should watch the sequence. It's pretty cool. He's like he takes the mask off with his back to the camera, and then he pops on the scarf, and you just know it's him. And it was I don't know, it was pretty cool. All he did was come out, and he didn't talk on the mic or anything like that. He just came out, and that's how it went off the air, was with the punk in the ring, MJF outside of the ring. So we're gonna get hopefully a continuation of MJF versus CM Punk, and that's the best thing that AEW has ever done. So
why don't they let that ride though? Like, why did they need to announce who the Joker was that night?
Yeah, it did. I honestly didn't think they were going to do that. I thought they were going to maybe save that for Dynamite. Instead of having like a fucking title match and losing and trading your championship real quick, maybe you do a thing like reveal who the Joker was on Dynamite to pop your rating,
Yeah, that's a weird call for me, but whatever.
I mean, like I get putting the belt on the actual money. I'm, and it sounds like I'm knocking Moxley here, but CM Punk's the money. Clearly, that was the whole point of bringing him back. So I get putting the belt on him because obviously he is basically he's the head of your roster technically, and so put the belt on him. That makes perfect sense. The MJF Joker thing, without a promo or some type of, I guess, lead in. I don't know how you do it. I just thought it was done because someone said this will be good to do versus it's calculated. I didn't look at that as that's a calculated spot. Now, I could be wrong. That's fine. I could be wrong. But there's things that AEW does that lead me to believe I'm not wrong. I just believe, they missed something there. They missed something that could have been bigger than what it was, especially when it's somebody like MJF. We've been clamoring for the guy for months. We've actually sat there and said, "Hey, Tony, fucking fix whatever is broken. Get MJF on the show." And somewhere someone was listening, but how you bring them out again, that's the part that they need to figure out how to fix. The presentation part. that presentation to me was like, what the fuck they do that for? Because like you said,
Yeah.
Dynamite would have been a perfect spot. I mean, the show was over. People got what they wanted. I mean, you could have got out of that pay-per-view and Dynamite would have been a perfect spot somewhere in you could have wrote it in that you reveal the Joker. But again, I don't know if it's the Bucks in the back. Hey, this would be good to do right now. I don't know. But geez, Louise. So that to me was just like, okay, damn it. That could have been bigger than what it was.
Yeah, I need some clarification if this thing works like the Money in the Bank, because I almost thought we were going to get that ADD, let's do everything all at once booking, where it would, because I figured out it was MJF pretty much right away. And so I kind of get the reveal. That's fine. The thing is, yeah, I guess you can't just cash in the chip and then like do it right away. I thought that they were going to do it right away and MJF was going to be the champ. Like, boom, that's what happened.
That would have made sense.
That would have made more sense for the reveal, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that would have made more sense based on the reveal that they did. I'm like, okay, here we go.
So that would have been cool. But so then I need clarification on that, or maybe he'll change that. I mean, then it's essentially the same. You're copying the Money in the Bank with your chip thing, which I don't think they want to do a almost direct plagiarism of. I think it's a little better almost to do it where it's a slow Money in the Bank where you have to schedule it or whatever.
I mean, they have coffin matches. You could call this goddamn Cash Under the Mattress. I don't care, but
right. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
it could be a direct
grandma's hidden jar.
Right. You know, moolah and the boobies. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
Dad. Oh, they should do a match for Dad's Crown Royal bag.
Something. But I'm just saying.
What's in there? I don't know.
You could do a direct copy. It's just, it's like, Jesus Christ, just do it right.
Now all I want to see is a Crown Royal bag match. So two things I missed from this show before we get to the post scrum, and we'll talk about that a little. Dax Hardwood's 8-year-old daughter, who he did the promo about, the very heartfelt, wonderful little promo. She was sick and got better, right? She came out and was part of that little match going over on one of the goons for Jay Lethal.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a nice little happy moment. And again, another like FTR having a banner year moment, I thought. And that match was very watchable and it's fun for the most part. And then the other thing, Daniel Bryan, I said he had the worst entrance of his life and I couldn't tell if it was my internet or if there really was an out of sync audio, like lip sync issue on the pay-per-view. I did have issues. I had a bad internet connection. I had to reload it and refresh it a couple times. So I don't know if that really happened or not, or if that was just my experience because of my internet connection. But either way, what I was hearing is he had his friend who does his new music singing his song. He is like the least famous musician that has ever done a fucking entrance with a pro wrestler on a pay-per-view of all ever. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, this guy is like, he must be his neighbor or some shit. And I don't know what the fuck is going on. It was awful and it was not tough. He came out with like white everything on and just a slight man singing a song about I have no idea what, the environment or something. I don't know. So it was a bad entrance. Getting to the post presser. If you haven't seen it, go and see it. It's on YouTube. It's everywhere you watch your video clips. CM Punk went off about Colt Cabana and really aired his dirty laundry about that guy and got mad at guys from Wrestling Observer and various members of the press right there about false reporting about things about him and things that have been said and all that. And then he went in on Adam Page and all the EVPs pretty hardcore. It's a little everything he says is fucking inflammatory, basically.
Yeah.
Did you look at Tony's face?
And Tony looked like, honestly, he looked like little brother sitting next to big brother, didn't he? Like, that looked like Big Brother was talking, and I got this, and it actually makes me feel all right about. I don't know, but he said he's sick of working with these kids that think they can't take advice and don't know what they're doing. But he had a really good. He definitely had pointed comments towards the elite because
Yeah.
they seem to be very stuck in their ways and think that their way is the right way when they're not increasing their audience or doing anything like that. And Tony Khan really needs that to happen right now as a business. And otherwise, they're just not going to keep going. And they're certainly not going to be on TBS and TNT anymore if they don't at least show signs of growth.
You have a veteran with name and actual power as a wrestler to draw money, telling you are doing it wrong. And he's also telling you that you as the owner have the ability to right the ship and not let folks who don't know what they're doing continue to be in charge of things that they shouldn't be in charge of. That was a direct, not plea to Tony, but like that was a definitive statement. Hey, you may like these guys, but they don't know shit about wrestling or the business to be making these decisions, and they're gonna not put you in the poorhouse, but they're gonna make it so that this thing doesn't exist. And if you want this thing to exist past the 3 years that it already has, you need to change some things. Because when I say he literally kept going back, he explained the whole Coca Cabana thing perfectly. Now I have a complete understanding of what was going on. Because before I'm like, okay, why is there a rift? What happened? Blah, blah, blah. He mentions it stuff. He doesn't mention stuff. People mention things for him and he just doesn't say anything. He basically sat there and said, I had to listen to this bullshit for all this time, and it just it doesn't make fucking sense. So he let those guys have it. And to me, I'm like, good for you, man. Like the best part is Izzy was in the room. He's like, oh, Izzy, I'm sorry you had to hear all this. But
like Brian but he called out Brian Alvarez. Brian Alvarez was in the room. Meltzer was in the room, and oh man,
he let him have it. But it's almost to the point of these are the parts where the AEW fan is like, oh, fucking, I'm gonna mention his name again the second time. Sorry, it's free publicity, but oh, fucking Jim Cornette is just an old curmudgeon who just doesn't like professional wrestling the way it is now and where it's gonna be in the future. You had a guy sit there and go, no, he's right. These dipshits don't know shit.
Yeah,
that was that's not my words. That's what he was trying to convey. He actually said it. He said they don't even want to take advice from actual guys you should take advice from.
Yeah, they've said that in many forms. Like Kenny Omega says that Jim Cornette, his critique and all that is he's just spewing hate. Like he describes it as spewing hate. Like Kenny Omega sounds so oddly woke and strange and just in his own world. And he's just I don't know, man. He's a weird guy. Those are weird guys. And they're very full of themselves, and they want to. And Hangman definitely was not good casting for your top guy and a top champion. He's definitely a mid card guy, and
he went to bat for a guy that literally you almost feel. I don't feel sorry for him, but you almost feel sorry for him because he went to bat for a guy that he sounds like didn't know the actual whole story.
Oh yeah, so. Then sounds like, maybe they'll work it all out now. But apparently after he got done doing this, there was an altercation between him and several EVPs, like physical altercation between him and Nick, maybe. We're going to one of the Jacksons for sure, one of the Young Bucks. So we'll see what happens with that. Honestly, even, Moxley was taking his little pot shots in his promos and whatnot at him at Punk,
and I think he did. I think Punk in that post presser did a good job of actually respecting Moxley. As a performer and a colleague, without getting personal. I think he did a good job because he could have got real personal with Moxley, but he chose to do that fight another day. It was mainly the Bucks and the quote unquote, because they're not real journalists, obviously, but the quote unquote journalists that spent their time starting all this shit. Like that was his goal. And to see Tony sit there and nod his head, like I you know what it's like? It's like if, and this is all speculation from my standpoint because I'm not in the back, but what I can gather from the one incident I ever caught on tape, only Brock Lesnar seems like he's the only one who can literally throw a belt at Vince McMahon in disgust. and Vince McMahon go, okay, Brock. That's what it was like looking at Tony. Like I looked at CM Punk just go off and basically like, this guy's an asshole, this guy's a dipshit, this guy's a fuck. Like, and Tony's like, yeah. I was like, Jesus. It was amazing. Because Tony has to go back and obviously work with his team, his executive team, their EVPs. So he has to sit there and go, well, Punk said some things, but we'll work this out, guys. I don't feel that way. Like he has to say that. So for him to be in that position, this is where you show that you're in charge, though, because there was some professional criticism in that. There was some opinion in that, but you basically, he basically broke it down. This is how the money works. This is how the draw works. These guys did things that could affect the draw. You're trying to do some things here, and they're literally doing the opposite. So, like, hey, hopefully Tony listened.
I've heard some of the Brian Alvarez and Meltzer reactions to their own situation there or whatever, and they were commenting, Punk said that the other guys haven't done anything anywhere. It's like, well, New Japan was the second biggest company in the world, this is the second biggest company in the world. It's like, what do you mean? Like,
would you stop? Would you really stop reading your own press clippings? Like,
really, yeah. You mean because you said so or whatever? I mean, and they are big and everything, but like big, like how and what you're trying to accomplish is something like not to second place, but like 1.5. How do you get to 1.5? Like that's what they're trying to do. Yeah, no, I think overall, man, this weekend just proved that I was excited about the castle, but there was some bummer ass booking decisions there, some big story stuff there. I think the show was overall great, one of the best WWE shows in a while, and then very, very watchable all the way through. Even the bad stuff was like not that bad at all, and it was mostly about the wrestling. And of course, you had a great Gunther match, and I just feel really good about the future with that. And that's I think he's gonna get a historically long reign, and then whoever's champion whenever it's time, maybe Gunther will get matched up with them, and I can just see him being one of the big title matches at a WrestleMania with an attraction at the top or some shit like that, but he's definitely on his way to big things. And I like the Bailey group and some of the other things that happen there, the Mysterio story.
Which they have a name now, right? Like, isn't it like Damage Control or something?
Damage Control.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I think that overall their production just showed that their production is tighter, stronger, better, makes hell of a lot more sense than what's going on in AEW as far as the booking and cohesiveness of a fucking show. But both of them need to shorten some shit up because they're so long. So long sometimes.
So hopefully this week we'll get some answers to some questions that we had coming out of this pay-per-view weekend.
Not pay-per-view. Premium live event.
Premium live event weekend. Grant, tell them what to do.
Come back. Yeah,
we're the Fabulous Threebirds. We'll see you next week.